submit!
Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you're having a great time. My name is Dragon, and today we'll be playing some Dysmantle, as I assume it's pronounced. It's written a little bit different than you would normally do it. It's a zombie survival sort of like game where you walk around, collect resources, and, well, destroy zombies. I've played it before, but I decided to put it down for a while, given how it wasn't, well, completely finished yet. So I've already got like 10 hours into the game, but we're starting a completely fresh run today though. We'll see how long we're gonna keep streaming today, because my internet was out for like 5 hours earlier, and I was planning on streaming much sooner, but hey, you know, what can you do? So I've already gone ahead and configured everything, and then I hope it's fine. We'll see. There's only one way to figure that out. Oh shit. I forgot. I have to choose the save profile. Hey, spoilers. This is my character, which I'd played to before. Anyway, let's go back to the main menu and switch that save slot. 10 hours and 38 minutes, level 20. Should I just delete this? I'll just delete it. I don't see any reason to keep it. Okay, and this game is co-opable. Of course, I'm gonna go Celsius, so you'll just have to do the calculations yourself. Those are fine. For some reason, people don't like the emojis in this game, which was a little bit of a quirk, I gotta admit, but I do actually kind of like it.
This is an automated recording sent from K23, the Crown Station. Everyone will be provided a safe transit as soon as possible.
We all do what we must, just to survive, just to exist. When our society started to collapse, I was prepared. My underground shelter was filled with food and supplies, but that was years ago. Nothing's left now. I have no idea what awaits me at the surface, but I can't stay here. All I know is that there's supposed to be an evacuation site to the east. I need to get there. I need to escape this wretched island.
Alright, day one, morning. So, here we are, walking around minding our business. Well, it's mine now. Nice. So yeah, I have no idea what to expect. I hardly even remember the game other than the basics, like you can break certain things, which eventually you get better and better equipment, so you can break down more and more things, hence the namesake, Dysmantle, I suppose. Right? So I did decide and go ahead and... Let me just double check the audio. Oh yeah, that is still loud. Holy shit. Might want to tone that down a little bit. Let's try that. See how that is. Still like super loud. don't feel that the sound in the game really showed off that well, or demonstrated that well. But yeah, like I could break those chairs, but I can't break this table because my damage is not high enough yet. So that's going to be a running theme, basically. So here we get our first quest: upgrade the crowbar tool and break through the obstacles. So this is our old house, I presume, right? So we were just like stuck down there like forever. Oh yeah, and you can rotate the camera and tilt it as you please. Now I did go in and disable some of the visual effects, like the vignette, because it basically just means, like, I can show you. I'm not a big fan of vignetting in video games. In case you're wondering what a vignette is that black border or sort of gradient going along the edge, and I don't know if that's just how they pre-configured it, but whatever, but normally like you'd be able to adjust the intensity with a shader that you're using for this, but there's no settings for it, so it's a bit too much up in your face. It's similar, there's also depth of field, but if I turn that on, it's like everything in the room over is basically blurred out to absolute garbage. So it's way too strong for my own taste. Having some settings on that would be nice. So sorry, but I'm gonna disable them. Also, running stuff like a vignette, and like especially something that blurs out stuff in the background like depth of field is a little bit system intensive. Well, not as much as other things, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather not have it in the first place. Anyway, we do need some more scrap metal, so there's coincidentally 2 freaking gas grills or whatever in here, which we can use. And then you go to the camp, right? Yeah. So here we store our resources, we get XP, and we can upgrade our gear. It's slowly coming back to me. And in order to progress, we need to upgrade our crowbar. Whoop. But yeah, I've actually been waiting to play this for a while because I know some of my fellow streamers, they play Project Zomboid. And whatever little I've seen of that game, it just reminded me of this immediately, but this being more like a, well, obviously this is 3D. Project Zomboid is like isometric 2D, which basically just means you have a fixed camera angle and everything is, well, 2D otherwise. So it's just drawn 3D, it's not actual 3D. But it had a similar thing going for it. It's like you walk between houses, you collect resources, you encounter zombies on the way, and you establish yourself somewhere, and then you use that as a base of operations. A little bit like 7 Days to Die as well, but without as intensive building options. Yeah. So this basically just means that we can get out. Imagine we didn't have 2 gas grills, we wouldn't be able to get out of our own house. So let's open up into the wider world. And there's a little bit of resource grinding in this. Right now our inventory is fairly small. Basically each of these slots is space for a unique type of resource, and then the squares underneath denote how many of each you can have. Now we can completely tear down our own house for resources and mats. And then whenever you're full, you basically go back to your camp, you can store your materials. Fairly straightforward, not a lot of inventory management, which I would assume a lot of people are going to appreciate. It's kind of also what you need if this is like supposed to be, I don't know if it is actually, but I assume it's playable with a controller. It seems like one of those games that would definitely be able to sort of facilitate that. Let's just get some materials going here. Oh yeah, we can also find these radios along the way.
All working evacuation transports are outbound. Please keep calm and wait for the maintenance. This is an automated recording sent from kt1, the Crown Station.
Yeah, so that's like when you get the first like experience with all those emojis that they put in. So they use emojis to like show like, I don't know, emotions or like something noteworthy or something that you're supposed to memorize. Something that's important, I suppose, as well. And I do remember reading back when the game first came out into early access that people were like, what is up with all these emojis? That's like a stupid thing. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty interesting. I don't seem to remember seeing any other games really using emojis in that way, so it's interesting, if not quirky, but I don't think it does the game any harm. I think it's actually a nice addition, so makes it stand out a lot too. Yeah, so it's just like telling us that we can move the camera around. Yeah, and occasionally you do encounter like new resources that you haven't seen before. And this is the case where it's like, oh, scrapwood takes up a slot, fabric takes up a slot, and all that plant matter takes up a slot. And every time we return resources, we get XP. But yeah, we can upgrade our backpack if we get some scrap fabric, so that would allow us to carry more items and make less frequent trips back, basically. So why don't we head out and get ourselves into some danger? Ex-human scrapper. A melee-oriented ex-human that finds strength in numbers, but is relatively harmless by itself. So fairly straightforward combat. And those are just the shamblers. Yeah. So you can like hold down left click to do a power strike, and then you can toggle who you want to target by pressing the middle mouse button. Yeah. So you can basically go about exploring and stuff, but I did find that it was a nice idea to like go and gather some materials and get some upgrades before you move on. Some places are locked, either by like some kind of tool you need, or because the materials are that are blocking off the path are like much stronger than what you can sort of remove. Our hit points are up in the left, and you can see we only have like 2 blocks basically, and I believe these just take out a full block of health whenever you get hit, so you can't really sustain much damage before you get knocked down. But that's not really a big problem. The game does a pretty good job at like balancing out the difficulty there. And if you get hurt, you just return to your campfire, I seem to recall, and then it does regenerate your hit points. And that also acts as like your checkpoint. So every time you return back, I seem to recall it like saves your game, basically. So if you were to go back, deposit your resources, you went out and got killed, then it would just return you to that campsite. I don't remember what happens with your resources if they drop and you can go and pick them up, but I'm sure we'll see that happen. For now though, I do want to be a little bit cautious. From what I remember, the enemies also do respawn in the game, and I think it's every time you return to camp. So there's that balance that, okay, you can go back to camp and deposit your resources and save the game or whatever, and replenish your hit points, but it also respawns all the enemies. So you can't just cheese the game, I suppose. Which is also a good thing that the enemies do respawn, because as you've noticed, they do drop materials that you need. And we do actually have enough for the backpack upgrade, I think. But yeah, there's also food in the game, which can be used to subsequently also heal yourselves. So you don't have to eventually go back all the time to heal up. At some point it actually does get to that point where You can basically stay out for practically ever. Yeah, new recipes. Also, can we even can we not look at the world map yet? Oh, that's not even available to us yet. Oh, okay. Shit. Okay, then I gotta not get lost. But from what I played of the game already, it was very limited where you could go because that was the very first like public release of the game. And as a result, you couldn't really go many places. I also do seem to recall that the level cap was level 20 because they basically hadn't made more of the game back then. But this is a 1.0 release, so from what they wrote, this is a feature complete version of the game. So I'm expecting that they'll go into like maintenance mode, hot fixes, bug fixes, that kind of stuff. I'll shift to run. I think we figured that one out. Ah yeah, and there's more camps around the map too. So we can also like use this as our campsite if we wanted to. What does this say? This is a quest. Some basic equipment is needed to even have a chance of survival. Ah, so this is where we need to make like a backpack upgrade, but also find a map at the link tower. So that's why we can't even see the world map yet. I also can't remember, I seem to recall there's like a fast travel system between campfires that you've lit or something. Or no, that's something else maybe. Yeah, there is a fast travel system, but you gotta like gain access to it. We do also level up. And this is the skill tree, and this is where the level cap came in and did some stuff. Because some of these abilities were like basically unobtainable because you needed to be like level 99 or something to get them. And as a result, you just had to grind forever to get them. But yeah, so we can invest some... Where do we even see the skill points? I don't even remember. Experience level 12 is required. Yeah, we're level 2, so that means we can unlock throwing knives, which then gives us like, in order to unlock this, right? Yeah, we need those materials. So we need scrap metal, fabric, and plastics in order to even get throwing knives, which we don't really have a lot of right now. There's also, I do believe there's also building in this, right? Because there's camp upgrades, but I can't remember. For now though, we'll just upgrade our backpack. Oh yeah, gotta hold it down. Bloop. So now we need scrap wood and fabric to upgrade it another time, so it does get gradually more and more expensive. If we get some scrap wood, we can upgrade the crowbar, which I think I want to do before we move on, because that'll allow us to break more things. But yeah, getting that upgrade now means that we have another slot for items, and we can also contain, carry more of the individual stacks before having to go home. Can we break this? Nope, can't even break the fence yet. Damn. Yeah, so we're a little bit limited on what we can do. I guess we just gotta break some chairs until we have enough scrap wood to upgrade it. Then we should, I guess, be able to break like many of the things that are made out of wood that we can't so far. Also notice how there's like a stealth system in the game. So we could do those sneak attacks on zombies or the enemies or whatever, which does give you a damage boost. And similarly, like if you make noise in an adjacent room to an enemy, they have like something that eventually makes it so that they do discover your location and they'll flood you. Now we found our first food recipe, tomato soup. So now we can make use of those tomatoes to make a food item. We'll just store it for now. There's also farming in the game, but that does require like a specific location in order for you to start doing that, because you need fertile soil. But you can make like sustainable food that way. Until then, however, we're kind of stuck with just scavenging. Hello. Dog is not home. See, that's the thing about the emojis, right? The thing that makes it interesting is that they visualize the thought process of your character a little bit better. Okay, so it's not a full block of hit points, but almost. Yeah, I couldn't remember how if it was like a binary, you have hit points or you don't, or if it was like a float. But it's a floating number. Now, if we break this thing that it stands on, just to try and... Nah, okay. Some things are also stacked on top of each other, and I can't remember if breaking the thing underneath will make it drop. Well, get wrecked. But I was having a lot of fun when playing this. Like, I was so sad that the first initial early access release was so short. Like, don't get me wrong, 10 hours is a long time. In the old days, like, most video games on average would, with a linear story anyway, would yield you like 14 hours. So that's what I always sort of gauge my experiences after. If it's like something that you can spend more than 14 hours on, then it, you know, outperforms a classic linear story, like, let's say something like Tomb Raider, or heck, even Ocarina of Time. If you actually like sit down and pay attention, doesn't take much longer than 14 hours at most on your first playthrough. Medieval, again, also might take you like 14 hours at most, which might not even be the case. It depends on how much backtracking and stuff you want to do or need to do. But yeah, generally speaking, considering that I've spent 10 hours in this game already, I think that was a pretty good deal. It's not really a super expensive title either, and it does some things that you definitely, you know, want to see in a zombie survival game. And just the thing that everything in the environment is destructible, that was like super appealing, right? Because that is actually the case. So it might not seem like that at first, but even the walls to the buildings you can break down eventually, or dismantle, if you will. So eventually, like, you can just completely rip off this house. And that's also why I'm like, I do seem to recall you can like build things as well, but I can't remember exactly how detailed it was. Though I do also seem to remember it being like restricted to certain areas. Gotta be a little bit careful because I got hurt. But yeah, here we go. Activate this sucker. So this is the first beacon, and now we have a map over the entire world. Or rather, just a grid with all the areas in the world. And from the version I played, only like 50% basically of the map was accessible. Everything from the middle of the map and then to the right was basically accessible. Then we can open the west and the east gates. Yeah, so there's like a boss here we need to take out in order to open up that. And then the west gate. Yeah, then there's enemies on the other side, I believe. How to survive. Oh, that's actually a very good point, Toto. It's actually very similar now that you mention it. How to survive is a little bit more simple though. It doesn't have the fully destructible terrain. We also get a mini-map now. Kovacs rules. Gotta remember that. Start of a long journey, but thankfully the basics are in place now. Let's claim that XP reward. This game does also have a co-op, by the way, as far as I remember. Yeah, there's a co-op option here, so you can actually play this with friends. And it also has oh, what's it called again? Steam Remote Play or whatever it's called. So if only one person has it, you can technically, if you own a controller, co-op the game. Hey Catastrophe, back. Good to see you back here as well. Love that kind of games. You're doing something demi-important and game be like, you made it, congratulations. Now you can see how much of a game you should complete. You didn't make even 1% of it, but good luck. I guess, to some extent. But yeah, Toto, you can tell me how similar or distant this is from like Project Zomboid, right? It's an arcadey version is what I would assume it is, not knowing much about Project Zomboid other than, you know, what few minutes I've seen of it. But it just struck me as very similar. We still need more wood for the crowbar upgrade though. Really wants us to go in and hand in that tomato soup recipe. But hey Catastrophe, how are you doing today? And you as well, Toto. I hope you're both doing great. I was intending to like stream much earlier, but my internet provider decided that or they didn't really decide it, but their automated update system decided that it wouldn't behave, so everyone in like my city basically who's using their service was out of internet. And they've got like a semi-monopoly on what you call it, a lot of things, so yeah. Lurking sometimes in my streams, okay. Streams mostly about you playing and commenting. Chat not that important for that kind of streams. Okay. That's actually very very helpful, Catastrophe. That tells me something about what you guys enjoy, so. Celta? 3D Celta? What do you mean, Toto? Is that a game called Celta? I have never heard of that before. But yeah, that actually is very helpful, Catastrophe, because sometimes I do wonder what everyone in chat is like thinking, because it does tend to get quiet on occasion. But if you're enjoying the commentary, then that's very nice to hear. I know Toto said the same on a couple occasions, so it tells me I'm doing good. Because again, like, if there's something that you would rather like to see, then do comment on it, because, you know, it's not just only for my own enjoyment. I do also want to try and make it somewhat interesting. Nothing bad happened, yeah. How are you? I'm doing pretty fine. I had to get up a little bit early today because I had to get in talk with my my advisor at the job center, because she had like some new job positions that she said I might be interested in. So I had to get up much earlier than normally, but other than that, I'm pretty fine. I was a little bit panicky about the whole not having any internet situation though. Celta is a Korean pixel game. Okay, so that's probably why I've never heard of it then. Is it something that's worth checking out, Toto? Because if you say it's very similar to Dysmantle, I really like Dysmantle. It's just got the right mix of arcadiness and still like survival-esque elements to make it very entertaining. And it's got that instant gratification too, where you know, making progress isn't really that difficult, it's not super punishing, and you keep getting like new things basically, right? We don't want to do that yet. We want to upgrade our gear. This thing. I mean, they do put a lot of juice in here, right? So everything's gonna be like, oh, like you said, Catastrophe. that everything's like, oh, here's a reward and go and do stuff. So we gotta invent the link tower toolkit and install a deadly transmission to a link tower. Deadly transmission. I think that spawns some enemies or something. Worth checking out, but it's work in progress still, in development very slow. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember how long this game has been in development. But you're right, it does, it's like it's very reminiscent of How to Survive actually. Oh, can't damage that. What about these? Nope. What about this? It's like just gotta bash some things until something sticks, basically. So yeah, our tool damage is 20. So if we look in our inventory, this is our only tool right now, crowbar, which has 16 damage. So basically, anything that only requires 16 damage, we can dismantle. Whoa. Used to stay at talking streams, basically streamer talking to chat almost all the time. Their chat in first place. Also, their gameplay streams, streamer playing and sometimes reading chat, but playing at first place. I think your streaming style at 50% chat, 50% game, but because chat mostly is silent, you're playing and commenting by yourself. Chat listening. If you're doing so, and because of that, lurking in silence, making you play and comment more. Dead circle. Yeah, it is. It also is very different what I play for very like self-saying reasons, or however you want to put that. Like if we're playing RimWorld and it's TTK, there's automatically interaction in chat. So if I see someone interacting in chat, just typing in a command, I'll say hi and how you doing. But it's also like, you know, of course you at least I think so. You should never call out lurkers in your chat. That's like bad manners as a streamer. Because, you know, there's a reason why people lurk. If they just want to, like, support your stream, but be that silent person in the background, I think that's like, almost more worth than someone who's only willing to be at your streams for the interactivity part, right? So that is very appreciative. Dragon Friend also tells very interesting stories, not just normal talking. I try to. I don't have many like real world experiences as opposed to some other people, but the thing that sets me apart from most of my friends is that whenever we've been out drinking, for instance, just as one example, I never get blackout drunk, so they might not remember what happened, but I surely do. So yeah, that's something I can also make use of. That's why people also lurking. They listening to the thing and don't want to interrupt. Yeah. Again, going back to the like circle of interaction there, which is totally fair. And I mean, I can see it in my statistics too. I do try and keep tabs on how many viewers, how many unique viewers, even if there's no interaction. It tends to be like a pretty good number of unique people in chat, which tells me that there's a lot of people dropping by and leaving without interacting whom I might never have seen before. So that is a very positive thing too. So yeah, because that means like I use it to figure out what I should stream basically. If I'm streaming something and even the statistics say that there's no people in chat lurking, then oof, okay. I'm gonna try and figure out something that's interesting. Like one of the first things I actually tried streaming, apart from RimWorld was one of the first. The other thing was Horizon Zero Dawn. And I thought like, oh okay, Horizon Zero Dawn just released onto PC. So you could play it in like a higher fidelity. I could test out my setup and all that stuff. And then I could also see if it was something people were interested in. and I could try out the hardest difficulty, which was very, for me, challenging and interesting, but didn't really help build a streaming community. There were a few people who dropped by and like interacted, but those people were themselves like playing Horizon Zero Dawn at that moment, so they were basically just interested in talking about the game that they were themselves playing, which is also fine. There was one guy, he was interacting with me, and he was playing on the hardest difficulty too, and he was like doing really ridiculous challenges. Like he was trying to take out the biggest enemies just with the spear, like none of the other gadgets or ranged weapons, just your melee weapon, taking out the what are they called again? Thunderjaws, I think they're called. Big T-Rex like things with multiple rocket launchers and plasma gun attachments, and yeah, they touch you and you're basically dead. To a certain degree, especially on the highest difficulty. Yeah, let's go and upgrade our stuff here. So we've just been collecting wood, right? Ah, I forgot the perk system in this. So eat edible materials you're carrying to regain hit points. Press F to open the menu during the game. So does that mean without culinarist? I guess it's culinarist. You can't even do that? XP from storing materials plus 20%, so you're leveling up faster. One more material carry slot. Yeah, I remember this. If it has base building, see, that's something I don't remember. It has something. You do get the opportunity to plant crops, but I mean, there's farming here, right? Which we can't even see what does. But I don't remember if there is actual building later on. Because the farming is like you need to take over a specific area and then that's your build area. But I can't remember how much you can construct. I think there is, but we'll just have to see. Because I honestly don't remember. So not until level 7 can we get the link tower. Let's do this one though. So the cool thing is that there's like no skill points in this. So everything that's unlocked in the skill tree is just resources. Which means that you do have the opportunity to get everything. Yeah. So we just got like throwing knives, which is an extra like weapon. And we can upgrade those further just like we can with the crowbar there. Blah, blah, blah. Bag of blood requires a lot of... Yeah, this just gives you more hit points. Right? Don't remember if this actually just gives you more hit points. Or if it makes you heal 5 hit points. You can also research clothing for defense. But yeah, this is a very... I mean, there's a focus on a linear progression in this game to a certain degree. It is open world, but it does lean a little bit heavily on the fact that like you have a goal, something similar to How to Survive, I suppose, right? Eventually you do clear out an area and then you move on, and then there's not really much reason to return back. And there's also the fast traveling system. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, as I did say at some point earlier, it is possible to completely tear down the walls in this game as well. Like, you can straight up remove this house eventually. Though you do need some better tools before that's possible, but you can definitely do that. Well, these guys are probably just what we should be taking out because they drop the fabric that I need for the upgrade. Also, now that we've got a better crowbar, we do more damage. Might as well, I guess, upgrade that backpack straight away. And yeah, in here you can like track which things you want to look for materials or materials for. But yeah, I don't think there's like, you don't need to make like a forge, you just need to break the right things. So this being like a small rural area doesn't really have many like things that drop the end game stuff. But yeah, it's basically down to what things you break down. And as you progress, you unlock more tools that can break down bigger things. Yeah, arcadey. Yeah, exactly. Requirements not met. Oh yeah, this is like a little mission, I guess. Come on. Also, all the zombies respawn every time you return to the campfire, right? So, and they do also respawn in the same locations.
Man, what a bunch of jokers.
Oh, really? I mean, these guys are the easy ones. I'm a little bit more worried about the big guy blocking the front entrance. But yeah, like in order to upgrade our backpack now, we need leather hides, which I don't think we can even get here because there's deer that do run around outside of this place to the east. So until we have the opportunity to hunt those deer, we just can't get those materials. But there's also points to like returning later once you have those better tools, because then you can break down new things, right? So here's like one of those.
For those of you thinking of building your private underground shelters, I say this. Is that really something that will help your neighbors? Or is it an act of pure selfishness? Something that only a snake would do? This is an automated recording sent from kt1, the Crown Station.
Getting smack talk from an automated message. But yeah, in case you missed the opening narrative, you've basically been in your underground shelter for like a couple of years because of some kind of apocalyptic event, and now you've emerged and everything's like this basically. TTS well used, yeah. That actually reminds me, oh, which game does that again? I think it was, I don't remember if they still do it in the final release, but Pirates, oh, what's it called again? It's SNAS. What does it stand for again? It's Space Pirates and Zombies, I think. Yeah. Which is also like a really fun game. Also very arcadey, but very fun. They also, for the sequel, I believe, they used TTS for their characters, for their dialogue, which was kind of fitting, honestly. It was very interesting. NASA Moonbase Alpha did too. I think it's a very clever use. I've actually also used it myself when I was at the university. We made a virtual reality game, or experience, let's call it that. Wasn't really a game. Which we did in collaboration with a pretty big company in Denmark. It's called Grundfos. They deal with pumps and just water, like moving water around. Basically, that's the main thing. They deal with pumps, basically. And they wanted some. They have like an accelerator program, they call it, where they take in university students, and you get an opportunity to work together with their company while you're doing your university studies and projects and whatnot, so that it's something that's more situated in real life. And then in return, like, they provide you with whatever tools you basically need that the university otherwise might not be able to supply you with. So that meant that before going to the actual point of the story, we had our dedicated, like they bought a computer for us specifically for VR. They also bought the VR equipment itself, so unlike some of the other groups at university, we weren't forced to repeat it, like store it at uni. We weren't forced to share it with other people at uni, so we had free reign over that. But basically Grundfos, they wanted like some kind of water-based VR experience. That's what we were told. That's basically the foundation for this whole thing in the first place. And we were like, okay, so you want something with water, but you don't really know what it has to be. Well, then you go the obvious approach, which is to start questioning them about, okay, what direction basically to move in towards, what kind of needs they have as a company and so forth, right? And because Grundfos are who they are, a very big player, also on an international scale, they put a lot of value into the global goals. In case you don't know what those are the global goals that we want to strive for in order to make a better world. So one of them is, for instance, clean drinking water for everyone, which, as you can imagine, is one of the goals that they want to focus on. And in order to do that, part of that problem is water consumption. So we decided to make a VR experience based upon water consumption, where you basically went around a house in VR and had to do some different tasks. You had to take a shower, you had to peel potatoes, and you had to clean a floor, and then there were some other smaller tasks in between. And the goal was to use as little water as possible. So basically, as soon as you turn on the faucet, a meter would start building up, showing you how much water you used. And, you know, preferably you'd use below a certain amount of water for the experience. And then at the end, you'd basically be shown how much water you'd used in total. And along the way, we had this amid sound total imagine game to be boring. It you know, it's an experience. The reason why this was made was not as like a commercial game. It was intended as a VR experience that Grundfos could bring with them to like conventions or whatever, where they have like a booth where they're talking about who they are as a company, such so that they basically have like a conversation piece, right? It wasn't like thrilling or anything, but it was just a little bit of a quirky like experience that basically allowed you to visualize all these water saving things, right? And for the game we had an AI like basically an Alexa, but our version of it, which would amongst other things tell you basically your task, what you were supposed to do, but also give you some background insight into like the things you were doing in terms of saving water and other kinds of trivia that were relevant to the situation. And we use TTS for that as well. So it's a very good tool, because re-recording voice lines is absolutely terrible, because, you know, especially if you're using outside help, even if it is free, you still need to organize it. You are relying on their time schedule, and you can't make like last minute changes either. So whatever you end up having, you know, available to you is what you kind of just gotta use. So, and in our case, because it was a prototype, right, we were constantly changing stuff in terms of the content near the end when we were implementing it. So being able to change it on a whim to something that was more factual correct if we learned something new or whatever was pretty good. So TTS in video games is a very good solution to a very common problem too. Okay, I do think we want to get that crowbar upgraded. We need some ceramics and some scrap metal. Get this. Ceramics might be a little bit tricky to acquire if we're sticking to this area for now, though. But we'll try. But yeah. It took us... how long? I mean, it's relative. So it took us like a half year's project work to do all this. Of course, you know, being at the university means that there was a lot of collaboration, which means transport between the university and their offices further down south, which every time we went there basically took like, how long did it take? Like an hour and a half or so, like 2 hours in a day to do the transport. So you basically didn't have much time, like you lost a lot of time on transit in order to do this project. And then also like just, you know, coding the thing and making the assets and all that. It was a little bit time consuming. I do actually have like a portfolio page on the matter if you're curious as to what it looked like. It's not like I was working on the visual assets, but it's not like we had a lot of time to do it, so it kind of had to be like a quick and dirty sort of implementation on some aspects. So it's not really high poly in any sense. And I also reused some assets from a game I was working on at the time. There's some ceramics there. You drop some ceramics? Yes, you do. But yeah, TTS. And I mean, then there's also streaming, right? Capitolamian uses TTS for his streams. No more as like a auditory aid than for like other reasons, but still does like something very important, right? Okay. Only need one piece of ceramics to get an upgrade for the crowbar. Should we try and scout out the pre-existing area? Because there's only like a couple houses in this area here, and I don't know if we've already like collected basically all the ceramics we can. So unless we're lucky that there's something around, we just have... oh, never mind. Here we go. Bloop. Oh yeah, this is where we have to do it. Cooking and eating gives permanent upgrades to various stats depending on the dish. The survivor doesn't have to eat to stay alive. Okay. Oh yeah, so if we do this, that just gives us more hit points. Max hit points plus 5. There we go. Yeah, so that gave us 5 more hit points. Cool. Seem to recall. Right, yeah. So if we get that perk at some point, we can also use foodstuffs to heal ourselves on the go so the enemies don't respawn, but until we get that, we're kind of like stuck just returning to camp and healing. That's okay. Start gathering mushrooms, bird eggs, and other useful resources that can be found in the wilderness. Okay. Choose between 4 skills instead of 3 when leveling up. I mean... yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. It's like a random selection of perks. So it's not like in Fallout or similar where you get to choose between like everything. You get like a random selection. Bloop. Cool, so now we'll need rubber for upgrading this further, right? Along with a ton of ceramic still. But how high is the damage now? So damage is now 20. So we can break this, for instance. Guess we can also break... Oh yeah, this is like 25, isn't it? Yeah, 24. This is gonna help taking out the boss for sure. So that's like one thing, right? Every time you do an upgrade, you basically gotta go around and like bash stuff just to figure out if it's something you can actually... Oh, here we go. Fabric, higher rarity material. Yeah, so you basically gotta go around bash things in order to figure out what you need before you can tear it apart. What about that fire hydrant? Is that breakable? Nope. 35. And then of course the lower tier stuff breaks faster as you upgrade too. How to survive made easy. I don't know. I played through most of How to Survive 2. 16 times the detail, is it though? I guess so. But what do you mean made easy though? Is How to Survive supposed to be hard? Then again, the sequel I did play co-op with... Actually, I played the sequel co-op with my mom, I think. That was like a very interesting experience. First time she'd ever played a survival game, I'm pretty sure it was my mom. Think about it. Because I was like home at some point and like, oh, well I brought this, so if you want, we can try and play a game together. Because I have played games with my mom. As, not weird, like I don't consider it weird, right? But to some people it's a bit unorthodox. Are they scary in How to Survive? I don't know. Just remember Kovac's rules and you'll be fine, right? I think one of the rules is like sleep whenever you're tired or something. Words to live by, I suppose. Okay. Do we want to upgrade the throwing knives? Yeah, why not? And then we should probably go and check out that boss fight. Sleeping bag. Enable sleeping at campfire. Sleeping passes time and grants temporary well-rested bonus effects. Might as well. We have the resources for it. What about the flashlight here? Not quite. Shovel. So this is like a new tool you can unlock, right? So if we get some more scrap metal and plastics, we can use this to dig up stuff. You can also attack with it, but it doesn't really do much damage. And this would give us better chance of blocking stuff. What about this? Yeah, we just need a ton of plastic. Kovac is the only way to play game. Oh, his rules? What do you mean, Zoto? I don't know why I keep hitting that fire hydrant. I still can't break it. Yeah, we have plenty of wood now. So now it's more like scrap metal and stuff. Kovac mode. See, that's something I don't remember from that game. So what sets that difficulty apart from the others other than being more difficult? I assume it's just like enemies have more hit points and stuff. There we go, our first rubber. So as you can tell also, by being able to break down more and more advanced stuff, you can also open up new pathways. Which, early on, like, because you can't break down walls, means that there's a lot of places you just can't get into. And it's like a very in-game kind of like thing, being able to break down the walls as well. Just trash and trash bags. But yeah, I mean, this is a very approachable game, right? It's very casual, so it's easy to approach for a lot of people. So if you're into like zombie survival games, but you think that something like, let's say 7 Days to Die is a bit too much, then this is a little bit more approachable. And it's got co-op too, right? So you can enjoy it with a friend. I actually don't know how many people you can play together as, but it does have co-op. Oh shit. Nice. God damn it. Dodging those attacks. I think I need a bit more practice again. Can't carry this stuff. How is it again? Yeah, so you can drop materials. So say you don't want wood, you can just drop it and pick up something else. Shouldn't these spawn? I don't know. Remember if it just stays indefinitely, or like until you reload the game or something. But yeah, you can drop things. I mean, there's also a limit on how much stuff you need. Yeah. Since we haven't found another campfire, let's just return. Bloop. Could make a shovel, but I don't think it's worth respawning all those enemies for that. Yeah, so this place is locked, so we need a lockpick for that. Some places that are locked off also, if I remember, have like a chance of containing special recipes that you need to find. Like for foodstuffs and such, so you can increase your stats. So I personally like more punishing games. Yeah, I don't think this game has gameplay. Let's see here. Tutorial, pause game without focus. Clock format. I mean, you can enable friendly fire. But yeah, I don't think this game has a difficulty setting anywhere. From what I recall. Well, it seems dangerous to survive. You need to further equip yourself. Wait a minute. We already did all that. Nice. Well, here's a campfire though.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
I mean, if you prefer more difficult games, then So you're the kind of person that really enjoys Dark Souls, aren't you? You gotta be. You gotta be. If you really want to punish yourself, go play Banjo-Kazooie, or no, not Banjo-Kazooie. Go play Banjo-Tooie, go to Cloud Cuckoo Land and race Mary the Canary. on the Xbox remaster, if you want to call it that, just the Xbox Live or, arcade version or whatever, because that is something only true masochists will enjoy. Dark Souls is just death and death. You died. But yeah, so what I'm talking about, in case you're completely oblivious as to what it is. So Banjo Tooie is like a platforming game that was made for the N64 back in the day. It's a sequel to Banjo-Kazooie, where you play a bear and bird combo, and it's a platformer, a 3D platformer, with some sort of open world exploration to a certain degree. And in the sequel, Banjo Tooie, there's this one segment in one of the last levels of the game where you gotta race this bird lady. You're on like a, what are they called again? Is it a teeter-totter? No, what the fuck are they called? The things they use for on railways, where it's like a seesaw in the middle, and there's like two people standing on either side, like alternating it up and down or whatever to move forward. Basically, you're on one of those and gotta ride along a bunch, like some pre-laid out rails, and then Mary the Canary will fly around and race you to a certain destination. And the thing that makes it really difficult is because the game was made for the N64, not the Xbox 360. Basically, when you're racing her, they implemented a rubber banding mechanic. You'll probably notice this in other racing games too, where normally like your opponents will drive about as fast as you, a little bit slower, but then if you get ahead of them, they start picking up speed all of a sudden. And sometimes like that usually happens right near the finish line too, so it feels like it's a close race. And they did that in this game too. Only platformers total played before those common ones, Donkey Kong and Crash Bandicoot. Okay, well, Donkey Kong was also made... Yeah, it was also made by Rare. So it's the same development studio who made the Donkey Kong games as Banjo-Kazooie. Rare. They also made GoldenEye 007 or whatever it's called. They made Conker's Bad Fur Day, which that would actually be fun to play on stream, but I don't know if that would be breaking TOS in terms of Twitch. It might. And what else have they made? They've made a good amount of shooters. There's a reason why they call it Rareware, because Rare just had like a really good streak of games that they put out that became very popular for a lot of players. Basically solidifying their staple of quality or whatever. Oh, because they were available in arcade centers. I see. I see. Then I should see. I want to play Banjo-Kazooie on stream one day. I don't know exactly when it's gonna be, but sometime in the future I do want to do that. So, because it's one of my favorite game. Like, it's probably my favorite platform of all time. You know, with medieval being very much sharing that pedestal to some degree, but amongst a few others, right? But anyways, I digress. It's definitely one of the really good ones. But yeah, so they put that rubber banding mechanic in there, which basically means you'll be racing this freaking bird, and the better you do, the faster she flies. Now, on the N64, it wasn't an issue because the Cloud Cuckoo Land, that level in particular, is a little bit demanding on your system. So when you're racing her on the original hardware, it's not an issue that she does this rubber banding feature, because basically you mash your A button, I think it is, and the faster you mash it, the faster you go. But because of the lag on the N64, button inputs weren't registered in the same way as they were on the Xbox 360 version. That meant that if you're playing it on the Xbox 360 version or live arcade version or whatever you want to call it, it's much easier to go faster than normally intended. Which means that her rubber banding mechanic overcompensates. Which means that if you're pressing down that button as fast as you humanly can, not even like that much different. Oh shit, this is not what I wanted to do. Okay, hold on. Keep that thought. Okay, good. Yeah, so we do have to take out that monster to get through. But if you basically keep pressing that button as fast as you can, you will always fail that race. Like, eventually, near the end, she just fucking books it like a rocket flying 1,000 miles per hour or something. It's fucking stupid how much speed she gains. And the only way to beat her is by deliberately doing just bad enough for her to not overcompensate on her rubber band mechanic, but also fast enough to actually win, which is harder said than done, because you know you have to do deliberately semi-bad. And to make matters worse, you also have to do it on specific segments of the race, because if you don't do it on those particular segments, then the way that she triggers her speed boost means that if you do it too soon, she'll just fly ahead of you too early, and you won't be able to catch up to her again. And if you do it too late, she'll just get like so much speed to and overcompensate. There's no way that you'll make it in time. So it's like so fucking stupid. So yeah, very, very masochistic if you enjoy that kind of experience. Should we get hack rat for more material? Let's do that. Can also sleep to make a day. Oh, sleep 6 hours, never mind. Sounds like big mess. I mean, it's the only part of the game that's like that, from my knowledge. There are other races in the game, like you have to race her specifically in another instance before that, with the same game mechanic, and that's fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can win that every time. Oh, I forgot to fucking upgrade my shit. But yeah, it's only a feature that's on the 360 version of the game, which is so fucking weird. And I guess because they changed some stuff in the 360 version as well, which sets it apart from the original game in a couple of places. Like one thing you do in the game is that, that's more for like the first game than the second. The first game they changed a lot of stuff too, but they also added new things, because Rare made a new Banjo-Kazooie many years after Banjo-Tooie, which is called Knots and Bolts, which is a completely different game. It's a vehicle building, like modular block building, vehicle building adventure game. So you build vehicles out of different blocks, solve tasks and puzzles and mini games, and then you just drive around. You don't do platforming like in the older games. But they implemented a feature where if you acquired, if you had the classic version of the game, or the Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, there were places in those games that you could now go on the live arcade version that contained items that would unlock building pieces like cosmetics and stuff for the Nuts and Bolts game, which was a pretty cool feature because, and this goes back to the story of the game in general, but back in the day, for the original and 64 versions of the games, there was a feature called Stop and Swap that they intended to implement. So what that meant was that you were supposed to play Banjo-Kazooie, and then whilst the N64 was running... Oh, fuck. I'm an idiot. No one saw that. While the N64 was running, you would take the cartridge out and then swap it in with Banjo-Tooie, basically. Hence the stop and swap thing. And that would allow you to get into certain areas or collect certain things. I can't exactly remember what it was supposed to be used for. But like if you were playing Banjo-Kazooie... if you were playing Banjo-Kazooie, there were certain areas you just couldn't get access to. Like there's an ice cave, for instance, somewhere that's blocked off with a wall, like a transparent wall, and on the other side there's just this circular room with an ice key floating in there. And for years people were like, well, what's the key for? How do you get it? That kind of stuff. Similarly, if there's also like an island that would appear in another level that you could go into, or supposed to be able to go into and do stuff, and then like basically you would be able to get something in Banjo-Tooie by having the previous game. So like I guess a reason to have both games if you didn't get in on the first game originally. But anyway, as far as I know, those features were never implemented. At least I never used it on my own copies of the game. But then when they made the live arcade version of the game for the Xbox, because Microsoft bought Rare at some point. Oh yeah, Rare are the people behind Sea of Thieves too, in more modern times, in case you were wondering. But yeah, they bought Rare, which obviously made it a little bit problematic to put, you know, Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie onto modern Nintendo consoles, because it was no longer like in that sort of atmosphere, right? In that space. So since they did that live arcade version of the game and that nuts and bolts thing, they decided that this stop and swap feature would suddenly be in effect. But instead of actually stopping and swapping, I do seem to recall it's just your save files. But it does mean that in the live arcade version, those areas are accessible all of a sudden. You can obtain the ice key, for instance, and amongst other things, like in Banjo and Tooie, I believe there are certain collectible eggs or something that you can acquire and then hatch, and then you unlock those cosmetics in Nuts and Bolts. So just a little bit of trivia there. But they changed some other things in there too. Like in Banjo and Kazooie, each of the levels have you collect 100 notes, which are these collectible items, because it is a collectathon. But in the N64 version, the way it worked was that every time you would re-enter a level that you'd been in previously, all the notes would respawn. In the live arcade version, they went, for lack of better words, pussy mode, and decided that once you picked up a note, you'd picked it up forever. Now, the thing to know here is that those notes are used to unlock areas of the game. So basically, certain doors in the game have like a note number on it, so you need like several hundreds of notes to get through there. And that means if you played the first level and you collected 50 notes in the N64 version and went out of that level, that is your highest note score. which means that in order to gain more, you would have to go to that same level, for instance, and collect more than 50 notes, which is a important difference to the Xbox Live version. Because in the Xbox Live version, right, when you pick up a note, it's just permanently picked up. You can go back to that level at any other point in time, and if you're missing one note in that level, you know, that's the only note you'd have to find. In the original version, if you intentionally leave the level, or if you die while playing the level, all the notes are reset. So if you've found 99 out of 100 notes in any given level, and you either leave or you die, you'll have to restart and find all the notes in order to 100% that level. Is the only way. And there are certain places in the game, especially like towards the end, there's like a couple of extra doors that you can open, and those can only be opened if you collected almost all the notes, and then one of them if you did collect all the notes. So imagine having like one level where there are literally pits of death where if you fall down, you're just dead. Like you just die. There's no coming back from that. Doesn't matter how many hit points you have. It's just a pit of death. If you fall down there, tough luck, Batman. You gotta start the level over in terms of collecting all the notes. Which means that not only are there places where you can be instantly killed, but that particular room in that particular level that has where the entire room is just like one huge pit of darkness, you're moving around on a bunch of rotating axles and gears. And there's also something you have to collect, which is time-based, which involves said room, by the way. So, yeah, that is a thing. Just thought I'd cover that. Dodge roll speed, mega flood, this is more hit points, let's get that. So yeah, Toto, that is like, that's also very painful. But again, like in the live version, it's like, okay, whatever, you die. There's no real punishment. You lose like a 1-up basically, which is one of those games where if you lose all 1-ups, you're just forced to restart the game basically, and then you get 5 1-ups or something. Not really that big of a deal. But that's like one of those things where I prefer playing the original version of the game rather than the live version, because that's like a significant change, and I don't understand why they did it other than for the sake of like making the game more casual. But I mean, why would you do that? Let's take out this boss though. Probably over prepared for this. Basically just don't stand and shit the boss. Oh, they're out of throwing knives. What up, boomer? I mean, I can legally say that because Left 4 Dead. He's basically a boomer from Left 4 Dead. Yeah. So let's see, go to the evacuation site east of your shelter, blah blah blah, install deadly transmission to a link tower. Alright. So now we should be able to open that gate as well. I don't remember if the boss he respawns. But we're in the beginning of the game, so yeah. Link tower toolkit to unlock this option. Oh yeah, transmitters have various effects on the area. Monsters can be permanently killed so they won't respawn. Yeah, that's a feature too. I don't remember if I ever ended up doing that. Maybe in the first area. Let's get over to a campfire, store this blue eye orb here. Store materials of legendary quality. Is there any reason to even then craft anything? Because this isn't even unlocked until level 7. Nah, probably pointless. But that did replenish our throwing knives though. Yeah, he doesn't respawn. He just gets repositioned. And that's the opening to the game. Basically the tutorial. Yeah, sadly there's no music because I don't exactly know why. This is like something that this sets this game apart from any other game that I've basically ever played before. I've never seen it anywhere, but in the audio setting there's literally a button for disabling copyrighted music, which as like a description of it is for people like streamers who don't want to get copyright flags on their videos, like for muted sections and such. Which is kind of weird because that tells me that they used like copyrighted music for the video game, which are under a license that doesn't allow you to stream it, I guess. Which is weird, right? For usually, because usually for like video games, it doesn't tend to be that big of a problem. There are some video games that are problematic, like the Lost Woods melody or Saria song for Ocarina of Time, for instance. I've heard should have been rather problematic in the past, not so much anymore. But yeah. So if you're wondering why there's no music in the game, then that will be the reason why. I can just show you real quick just so you know what I'm talking about. So in here it's like play copyrighted music. Streamers can disable this to avoid having to clear copyrights for videos. I find that a little bit of a strange thing. And I really don't hope that that is the future of video games. Because then, like, what's the point of putting music in video games if you can't even stream it, right? Because that technically means that if that video game at any point is caught on video for any other purpose than the original creator's intention, like a review, like being played in the background, anything, that video of that video game could be copyright claimed. Right? Because that's the whole kerfuffle that people were like, but my daughter's just like, you know, I have this video of my daughter singing to the track of whatever popular song, and this video on Facebook is getting copyright claimed. Right? Like, that's the thing that people are, for instance, complaining about, and I think that's valid, right? Why is that a problem? Well, it is a problem once you start monetizing it. But I mean, by default, you're not monetizing jack shit on Facebook, as an example. Right? You need to actually have like a monetization thing set up, which in some instances, like for YouTube, for instance, requires you to have a certain amount of subscribers. And what was the other thing? Like, there was one more thing for YouTube as well. I can't remember what the other one was. But yeah, there were basically requirements to even monetize that content, so. But yeah, okay, so here we go, the evacuation side. So this place is a very, like, we can't go through here kind of scenario. A partner? No, it's not like that. I mean, there were like two... what do you even call it? Like two statistics you needed a certain amount of. You needed, I think it was 1,000 subscribers, and then something else that you could quantify, right? So not like a status, but then that like you could then apply for monetization. I think it was views, possibly, yeah, but I didn't want to say it because it sounded a little bit like if you had, how would you have 1,000 subscribers if you don't have 1,000 views, right? Shit. I need to remember that we can dodge roll. I almost did it. And we can't heal yet, so those ranged dudes are kind of hurting me. But yeah, I think there was something there. Of course, you can monetize in other ways outside of the platform, but that's beside the point, of course. Doing meme videos, millions of views and like 10 subscribers. Yeah, I suppose that's true. That's, yeah, I think you've got a point there. I don't know why I didn't think about that. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, so here we gotta like make our way through this gauntlet of enemies. Don't want to do that on this low hit points, so let's go here. Sleep. Oh. Slept like 5 hours ago. That means we don't get that extra hit points. Sneaky beaky like. Haven't seen us. All leave has been suspended until further notice. Screw that. Oh, so this one's like stuck in here. So there's like some idea to explore an area, but only like take out the absolute minimum enemies the first time around until you've cleared like a path and stuff like that and know what to expect. And then you can like start getting cheeky.
Gathering points for the evacuation have been established. Please move to your designated area. Take only what you need. This is an automated recording sent from K23, the Crown Station.
Because now we can like break this thing from the opposite side of the door. And now we've got a shortcut. If we had better tools, we could just break the door outright from the opposite side and then it doesn't matter. But we're not quite there yet. Like here's another example. We can't open this gate because there's something on the other side. And we can break those, but we can't break the chain link fence itself. Then there's like a nasty boy in here. Extremely dangerous. You should be careful so it doesn't see me. Yep. Should we Toto, should I take him out? We can try. Oh shit. That didn't work. Oh shit. Yeah. Nope. That ain't happening. So Toto, you said easy, right? Yeah, this is easy. Mm-hmm. Bonk. Dooba-dooba-doo, dooba-dooba-doo, dooba-dooba-doo. Oh, sneaky peeky like. Submit a request for the supply base to set new catalysts first thing on Monday morning. Catalysts, Sensing some kind of experiment gone wrong here, eh? But yeah, so now we can break this so we don't have to go sneak past that nasty dude in there. Need extra steps like hunger and first, and maybe total will call game moderate. Ah, so that's the problem. There's no like actual survival element. Is what you mean. I could see that. You know what? It's actually possible, right? Because they've been mainly focusing on making it feature complete. So maybe now they'll work on multiple difficulties or game modes. I also don't remember if they were gonna do workshop support, but I mean, that could be cool, right? Thinking of survival mode, have you guys seen that they're making a Skyrim Anniversary Edition? Or they did release it, right? Like already. Like how many times can they still re-release that game? I also just remembered something. Not enough. Yeah. There's this thing. Ah. Locked since what? When does it reset? Locked minus 295 seconds ago. Fuck, I can't... Oh, right. Yeah, now I remember. These things are really funky. It's like, yeah, I think it's like you gotta go from the nearest camp, like a nearby campsite. And then after you take a break, you gotta rush to these and open them as fast as possible. That's how you like access them. So you need like a really short path in order to open them up. Which I don't even know if we can even do right now. Because obviously the issue being that when we do that, all the enemies respawn, right? So sometimes being a little bit extra tricky. Unless you got those upgrades that make it so they don't respawn. Canaveral... what now? Ah, and here's the fast travel feature, but we do need to invent and craft the compass. So these are also acting as like fast travel locations. There's also one back here. And this is something we can't even access until we can break chain link fences. Drop that stuff. So here we have a workbench. This is like a way to upgrade gear without taking a break. I couldn't even remember those. I think these can even be broken down later on. Oh, there's a camp right here. Don't really need more scrap. We've got more than plenty of that. Electronics in any of these? Yes. There's some plastics. Do a bit of dumpster diving. Clunk. Gate is sealed until link relays have been activated. Ground station, but the link relays are not active. Okay. Okay. Here are the relays. Guess I should go and activate those link relays. Yeah, because this is like the evacuation zone. So it's like, this is where you were supposed to go like years ago, mate. So in order to like escape, basically. Need some lock picking tools to get in there. I think we can open this though, right? Yes. So this takes us back out here now. These guys seem a little bit stuck. Oh shit. That dodge roll. Impeccable timing. Okay. Jumble. Let's light this though. Just give me a quick sec to take like a toilet break and I will be right back. Oh, we got a level up perk. Nice. More XP. Start gathering mushrooms, bird eggs, and other useful resources that can be found in the wilderness. So if we get more XP earlier, that means we level up faster earlier. Makes sense. So I guess to reduce the later game grind, you just want to get those as early as possible. It's a little bit annoying when games feel the need to implement those kind of features, because it's like, why would you then go out of your way to do anything but those first? I'm the only one thinking that. Bag of seeds. I need some more scrap fabric for that. Can't make a flashlight though. Bandages. Takes a long time to reply. Users are replenished. Yeah, so this allows us to heal up. This is what I was also needing. There we go. Now we can't upgrade the shovel. Very cool. Okay, so where do we want to go next? think we want to go up here because I know what's up there. I remember. Jeez. I just can't get a break on this guy. Oh, this is the gas station, right? That as well. No trespassing. This area is guarded. Okay, so you couldn't walk in there, but there's like a corrupted wolf or something. A doggo. Trolling the area. So you can use that to like gain access. Surprisingly enough, it doesn't see us through the chain link fence. It's patrolling though. I have a theory if I went through there and it attacked me and hit me, I'd be fucking toast. Whoop. Oh shit. Oh, you bastard. Good thing that their friends blocked that attack. Cool. More plastic junk. No. Here we go. Packard Family Farm. Carnaveral. Here we go. It's one of those things. Farming should be looked into as growing crops can help you to get more ingredients for food. Nope. So this is one of those areas, like this is the farm area there. Wow, I got hit by that second swipe. So bad. Oh, I seem to remember now. I remember. God. How does it even work again? So invent and craft. So we need the seed bag, which is currently being tried. We need some more fabric. So until that, we can't really do much here. Come on, I slept like 10 hours ago. Okay, okay. Fine. Yeah, that lady in there did respawn. Horn. Oh, here's a corn cob recipe. Nice. Oh, we need 9 of those? Shit. Okay, never mind. But yeah, you do need like I think it was plant matter and maybe also wood to what was that? Huh? Plant matter and maybe also wood in order to make more crop fields. Okay, there's another link tower up there. Let's go. Damn it, the second swipe got me again. Okay, we make the bag of seeds now. Might as well go back and get that crafted before we get too far out. Minecraft. Bag of seeds. Can also research a fishing rod. Real, what we're gonna go for: sickle, agricultural tool, convenient for cutting down several. Oh yeah, this is for getting like land materials. We should probably track that actually. Inventory. Ah yeah, here it is. So these are our slots. I don't remember what. Okay, so it's just like so if we craft 5 items for this category, we unlock another slot, right? So we're like currently limited on how many things we can have equipped in our toolbar. How do we switch again? Oh yes, so you can switch it by pressing left click on that button down there. I don't even think you have to water these. Oh, that was a throwing knife. Okay, so just click on it in empty space and then that allows you to switch the seed. So for the corn kernels, you use 2 corn for every seed. There's also a different time span for the different plants. Which is why I wanted to go here earlier, because I seem to remember that it was a little bit time consuming. No, I don't remember if it's sped up by, like, if we sleep for 6 hours. I think that actually means that 6 hours in-game pass, so doesn't mean that we have to like wait for that actual amount of time in real life. Inventory, that's where we want to go. I want to switch this over to our shovel. As you know. Yes. So now we can dig for stuff. Don't remember what this does again. I think this is for like treasure or something. God damn it. Keep throwing those throwing knives on accident. Yeah, I don't remember how you make more fields. I think we'll be told eventually. Yeah, let's just go up there to the northwest. Boom, headshot. Or hit what now? Oh, here we go, some new enemies for you. Is he like some beefier basic enemies? I think they're also a little bit faster, maybe. Ex-human chaser. Do 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 do. Something up here. Oh yeah, we can. Oh yeah, we need the perk to pick those berry bushes. There's a fence, so we have to go through the front door, I guess.
Special message for the dear inhabitants of Capernaum. Your mighty walls will keep the monsters at bay. Sleep tightly. You are safe and loved. This is an automated recording sent from K23, the Crown Station.
That wasn't sketchy at all. You are safe and loved. Like what? you wait, what? All right, we have the rubber. We actually just need the we need ceramics. Then we can upgrade our crowbar. But yeah, these are basically like your Assassin's Creed towers and stuff, if I recall. Let me see if I'm right. Yeah, it's like it basically shows the world map of that region. It also sort of shows you where then the towers and the nearby areas are. So you still have to you still get like an overview of where you have been, because it's like, you know, not darkened out, and you still have to find the points of interest. But now I can actually see a map, so we can see that there is like a town up here, which might be where we want to go. Maybe go left first. Just to get some ceramics, basically. Or try to. Come on. Okay. New invention, outdoors, man. Sweatbands. Okay. Is there, a campfire anywhere? Doesn't seem like it. Seems like I do have to go back a bit. Oh shit, that was a deer. Oh dear. Oh, this is like one of those, like kill 566 humans before 75 seconds have passed. Oh yeah, wishing well. I forgot. Choose a reward. Ceramics, let's go for that. Can't even carry all of it. Oh, and then there's like a 30-minute timer almost. God damn it. I'm not fast enough. And I don't have any throwing knives. Anymore, anyway. But yeah, because resource harvesting also gives you XP, there's still like some reason to collect even low tier materials. I still gain something from it, I guess. Oh, there's a fucking... Wow, there's one right here. It's a freaking campsite right here. plant growth speed 20%, gatherer. I think we might choose gatherer. Now here's that other recipe that we unlocked, but can't quite craft the thing yet. Sweatbands, running speed 10%. Yeah, we just really need some ceramics now. That was some easy materials. I've also, speaking of Fallout almost, I had the wild idea to do a Fallout 3/New Vegas playthrough soon. There's so many things I want to play, so there's a bit of, you know, picking whichever one is of most interest to people. But I have been wondering if that would be something people would be interested in watching as well. And the reason why I say Fallout 3/New Vegas is because I would be doing the Tale of Two Wastelands mod. I don't know if I would need to spend some time configuring it and all that, because I do already have everything set up from a previous run that I did on it. So let me know if that's something that could be of interest. Because it's basically Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but you can then travel between the two wastelands. And as a result, items acquired in one area you can use in the other and vice versa. And it runs on New Vegas, so that means the perk system and everything stat-wise and all that stuff is New Vegas. But then they added in Fallout 3 perks to New Vegas' system too, for wherever it made sense. So it basically means that you get access to a lot of stuff. And it's completely and it's compatible with mods too, so like other mods that are built for it. So for instance, one of the mods I have is like a safe house that acts as a bridge between New Vegas and Fallout 3, which is like one of them is a submarine and the other one is a bunker that's situated in the mountain range that through tunnels are connected to both wastelands. Yeah, the DLC is still playable with Tale of Two Wastelands. I played through one of the DLCs I'd never played before. The one you go to, what's it called again? It's the one with it's like the really weird one. The one where you get lobotomized. But yeah, all the DLC is playable too. For both games, as far as I know. I can't remember how far I got either, because it's like 2 full-size games with all the DLC. It's just ridiculous. Big MT, yeah, that's what it's called. Yes, I went there and did the whole quest line. Just fine. The Big MT. But yeah, you can totally do that with Tale of Two Wastelands. It's all supported. Like basically everything that's New Vegas is supported because it's built on that, right? So the thing that are more tricky is like, what about the Fallout 3 DLC? But that works as well. So, because the last thing I was doing was that I was gonna start on on one of the Fallout 3 DLCs I also hadn't done, which takes you to like an island through like the use of a boat or something. And it's like really funky too. I can't remember how it worked with the companions, because I do believe they were still working on a system so that you could take your companions from one wasteland to the other. That's like the only thing. You couldn't do that just yet. But the idea was that they would have like a common place where if you're in one wasteland, that's where all the different NPCs from the other respective wasteland would go to. So say you got like a follower from Fallout 3 and you went to New Vegas, then there would be some equivalent place in New Vegas that they would hang out in if they're not following you. Just as one example. And again, it works with mods too, because there was something in Big MT that like you could get that robot thing, what's she called again? Was it Roxy? Because you can get Rex in New Vegas, right? By fixing his brain, but there's also like another robo dog that you can sort of build in the Big MT, but she doesn't work, it doesn't quite work like a regular follower. And there was a mod that allowed you to do that, which I tested and it totally worked. So you could have both Rex and her at the same time. But yeah, if that's something that would be of interest, I would be down to playing that. Probably a new save, because, you know, fresh experience and then fresh experiences for people and all that stuff. There are some things that are a little bit funky too, which might want you to put in some extra mods, like difficulty being a big thing of it. Since in normal Fallout 3, like once you get to end game stuff, you're basically just fighting albino massive rad scorpions and stuff, and they have ridiculous, like they're just bullet sponges basically. So, but there are mods to fix that too. Big MT is not a mod, that's an official DLC. Is it just called Big MT, the DLC? It's basically like you go to this movie projector screen and then you get picked up and teleported to the Big MT. Old World Blues, yeah. That's what it was called. Right. I was like, Old World Blues, what was that again? But that's the name of the DLC. Yeah, you get your brain removed. You get lobotomized. Exactly. It's a fucking strange DLC, and I'd never played it before. I still have DLCs in there that I haven't played as well. It was like it's really cool being able to play the DLCs seamlessly across the two games and have access to all the DLCs. They also increased the level cap and a bunch of other stuff, or you can do that through mods at least, to make the experience even more like expanded, so you don't, because otherwise, you know, you play through half of one area and then you're already max level basically, right? So if you didn't expand your level cap, eventually you would just be capped on everything, and then it's just like experiencing it for the story's sake. Dead Money, best DLC to Toto. I don't think I've played that one. I didn't play a lot of the DLCs. Also, does this look suspicious to you guys? Because it sure as hell looks suspicious to me. I'm so good. But it's like really cool. A Tale of Two Wastelands is like a massive project, and you can just download that for free. And they've got like really good videos to tell you how to set it up, though if you want to mod it on top of everything else, it gets a little bit more complicated. And at first, when I tried it out for the first time to get it to work, I did just install all the mods in like the old-fashioned way of just straight putting it into the game. But I can highly recommend that if you do want to try this, use a mod organizing tool. And use the one they recommend most specifically. They recommend a specific one. Because it's got like, I can't remember if it was built-in support or just was more compatible or at least confirmed working with pt1, because that's what they call it. But yeah, there's something there too. Remember, you picked 10 intelligence and still overtaken own brain with int answers. Validation, invalidation. What do you mean, Toto? Is that because I'm saying I don't remember? I don't know why I keep breaking these chairs. We need ceramics. When modding New Vegas, need to do that often. Ah, that's what you mean. Fish and chips. That's why you want a fishing rod at some point, I guess. Also found some potatoes, which we can grow. But yeah, I was having some issues with with not using a mod load order tool and stuff. Or a mod organizing tool, I mean. But those issues were cleared up by just starting to use one, really. But it's really cool that there are those, that there are a couple, and probably even more now, mods that are specifically made for TTW as well, to enhance that experience. There are also some mods that are like patches to existing ones to make them TTW compatible. I can't remember all the stuff that I looked into because I wanted my experience to be like close to vanilla, but there were some things where I'm like, okay, if you don't change this, TTW gets a little bit lackluster once you reach max level and all the other stuff I mentioned before. For instance. And when you do TTW, you actually get a choice as well. You decide whether or not you want to start in New Vegas or you want to start in Fallout 3. So, whichever you choose, as you'd expect, that's, well, where you're like starting out. So if you choose Fallout 3, you start out as the Vault Dweller. You play through the whole opening thing just like normal, except you have like New Vegas game mechanics behind it. All the weapons in Fallout 3 are just like they used to be, like normally. So you don't get like New Vegas weapons necessarily. How is it again? There might be some crossover on the loot tables. I can't remember if they changed that. Because it's like the question of how much do they want to change and how much do they want to keep genuine to the original game, right? We can also make one of these. But then in like Fallout 3, in the DC ruins, there is a place that they modded in that you can go to, which has an old broken down train station, basically. And there is a small quest associated with it that you repair that train station to be operational, and the place is guarded by super mutants, by the way. Some of which are carrying rocket launchers. And you basically have to clear out that train station, make it operational again by turning on the power, and then you get access to the train that takes you to New Vegas. The only thing is that once you go to New Vegas, it's a little bit weird because you don't land at the train station in the opposite end. you start out at the beginning of the game. So that means as soon as you transfer from one to the other area, you do see that opening cutscene still, which, you know, it is what it is. But and then you start out with the New Vegas quest line, and you can't get back to Fallout 3, like the Capital Wasteland, until you get to the New Vegas Strip, because similarly in the New Vegas Strip, there is like a train station there that you gotta access to get back again. Unless you have those modded safe houses that act as a bridge between the two. Like for instance, the submarine, which is really cool by the way, as a player home, basically gives you an interface where you can just say like, oh, travel to the Capital Wasteland or travel to, you know, New Vegas. And then in both worlds there's like an access point to the same submarine, and then depending on which area you're in, then that's like where you land when you leave the submarine, which is why that is probably my favorite player home. Also, a very interesting mod is for New Vegas. It's literally bringing a whole new map. It's mostly another storyline, everything like perks, weapons, companions, new, and as well, after fully completing the mod, you can just travel to New Vegas and become main character in there, starting from the beginning, but with mostly all things you can carry on your back and all stats. So the main character is just not a normal pleb, but being with genetic stuff. Don't remember the name of the mod. I see. That also sounds pretty cool. Also very similar, actually. But yeah, you have to get pretty far into the game on both sides, basically, in order to be able to transfer seamlessly across both places. Unless you have these player homes, which makes it a little bit more like you can do it a little bit earlier. Because going and taking out a bunch of super mutants at the beginning of the game is maybe a little bit too much. As you can probably agree to. And I totally forgot to look up our inventory here. Instead of a shovel, I can switch this over to a sickle. Do I want this? Because this is mainly just for whenever we need to get plant fibers, and now it's probably meh. It's probably moot point. Oh yeah, maybe we can sleep to make it day. But yeah, it's been like a year or something like since I tried TTW last. And it was still in active development back then, and probably still is, so they probably added more features to it. Let's activate this one. And of course I used all our ceramics on something that's not our crowbar because I'm smart. Like, getting more hit points doesn't really help me, does it? It just makes me more cocky, and then I just end up taking even more damage. Doing a sneaky peeky like. Ah, goddammit. This is Wayward. Okay. Or the way to Wayward. That's that fighting challenge. So there's 2 towns here, and it seems like there's a broken bridge which we can't get across. That seems to remind me, yeah, it's like you gotta go all the way around in order to access this, and then you can access it from the back or something. which is also where fast traveling becomes a little bit more not imperative, but it becomes very useful. But yeah, I can take a look at the TTW stuff too. Kind of want to. Though I don't know when's the next time, or not next time, but when it's something I want to play though. Of course, I do want to finish up Battle for Middle-earth first, before I do anything like another longer game series again. But that shouldn't take too long. Project California, a new... Oh, okay, yeah. I see. I think I've seen that at some point. For sale, a cozy house with a lush green garden. Check it out. Nope. Of course, the main concern when using mods is that is it going to be like OP stuff compared to what's in vanilla and such. That's like the only thing that I was also trying when I was setting it up for myself, because I didn't want the TTW experience to be like super modded, right? Because if it only would be modding things that would happen in New Vegas, for instance, and not be available in Fallout 3, or if it would change New Vegas to the point where all the things in Fallout 3 would become trivial, then it would kind of ruin the whole point of doing TTW. Again, other than the experience of actually having both things available, I guess. Prologue location was interesting, but pub in that location lagged as hell for you. Literally only this part of the mod was really screwed. Had to walk with your eyes fixed to the floor. And other parts were fine. But hub made from scratch and a lot of bug textures. What do you mean? Hub made from scratch. Not exactly sure what you mean there, though. Population 148. Let's just store materials for now and then go back and pick up stuff. Don't remember if there's anything in that cozy house over here. Ooh, there's some lettuce. That's definitely something. And some spice of some sort. Is that just pepper? Nope, it's just spices. Generic spices. I think the bathtubs they provide you with ceramics, but I can't remember. I would assume so. Didn't exist in the original Fallout 3 or New Vegas. They made it from... Oh, okay, so that's what you mean. Yeah, they made it from scratch, right? Okay, so I did understand that correctly. Cool. So that's what you mean with bug textures, is that... We have to walk all the way around because we can't break down the chain link fence. Chain link fence. Chain link fence. Freaking can't speak. What's this? Find the storage key in Wayward. Okay, so there's like a key somewhere around here. Then that would allow us to gain access to this room full of dial phones. Old school dialing phones. Time being though, let's go back and pick up some of the stuff we left behind again. Rooms. Should be around here, right? There. Jeez, that fucking scared me. Startled me at least. Describes the legend of the ancient folks who inhabited the island. Oh, we get some lore
It
here.
all started when the great blue tear dropped from the sky. With great thunder, it hit Mother Earth and ripped her open. This is how manna came to us. The bittersweet gift from the sky.
Mana. Figure out what happened to the ancient island tribe. Find and investigate myth tablets. Okay. Maybe mana did come from outer space within a meteorite or something? Okay. Seems like a logical deduction. Oh, okay, so you... Ah, fuck's sake. Can I skip this?
It
Oh,
all
yes, you can. Good. So was there anything else in this cozy house that's basically just barely even there? Okay, let's try and see if we can maybe find that key up here. What about this fishing rod? Let's make that. Because the more tools we make, the more we can also switch out. Yeah, let's do this one. A bit more than the rubber, I think. Hold on. Am I even... Am I even wearing the other hat I made? Oh, okay, so this is the baseball cap. Good, good. Looking dapper. Yeah, so we can have free tools now because I upgraded that. Just Google without any hope, but California compatible with 2 wastelands. I think you have an idea what to do for the next 2 to 4 weeks. Oh man, like, it's gonna be more than 2 to 4 weeks, man. When I was doing TTW, I played it for... throughout like a month, I believe? And I didn't even do half the content or something. Nah, maybe I'm over exaggerating, but it felt like a very long time. Because there's just so much content between the 2 games. Especially because, you know, you have 2 places that you can have player homes. 2 places or even more, right? DLC and stuff also matters. There's all the companions, all the quest lines, like both main and side, and then just all the stuff you can explore, right? Especially if you've never been to any of those places before, it gets very, very time consuming. It's a really good experience. But yeah, setting it up might be a bit tricky without a mod loader. And even then it might also be tricky to set up. God damn. Tunk. Looks like not for 2 to 4 weeks, but 2 to 4 months. Damn it. Also should be doing Genshin Impact dailies. For my stream, you were frustrated without any ideas what to do, but few words from you, and now I don't have any time at all. You're welcome. You're welcome, Catastrophe. By the way, you also play Genshin. Interesting. Yeah, I do also have my Genshin Impact dailies. I know the struggle. Oh, I already went through there. I just got the Hutao. God damn it. Hutao. Is that how you would pronounce it? I guess. I don't know why I'm like emphasizing some of the things, but yeah, I just got her the other day. That was great. Didn't quite try and get her specifically, but
The coordinates E13 and
I'll take it.
E7 at all cost. Do not enter. This is an automated recording sent from K23, the Crown Station.
Does that actually give me a quest for that? Also, here's all the stuff in the game. As you can see, there's a lot of recipes to uncover. Here's the survivor of Glorious. Total progress. We've played for 2 hours and 25 minutes, and this is all our progress. So, main quest can be done fairly quickly, I guess. Oh, here's the boss dude, but like a smaller version of him. Or was he just this big last time? Damn, he's a tough motherfucker. Jeez. Let's just utilize the fact that we have throwing knives for a little bit. Get some free damage in on this son of a bitch. Ow. I don't even remember how to do the healing bandages. Oh shit. I guess... Oh yeah, right, because you have to stand still to apply them, so... So we just try and be careful. God damn. Oh shit, I almost killed myself there. Or got myself killed. Ex-human puker. What a name. Doing like 30 rolls without any purpose to get someone, just to collect star fragments, to buy rolls from the store. To get these rolls, you basically should do rolls that circle. I don't necessarily agree. I stopped doing that because my main is Razor, and I have been having the absolute worst luck trying to get more constellations for him. Like I've max const on some characters that I've basically been able to max const twice over. And he only has 2 constellation bonuses. And the only reason he even has 2 of them is because one of them I bought in the store for the star fragments. So it depends. More like boomer to Toto. Yeah, exactly. That's also what I said earlier. Basically a boomer, right? But, you know, they can't always call it the same. I guess not quite either, because this guy didn't explode when he died. So not really a boomer, but kinda. Because that's why they're called boomer, is because they explode, right? Like they did like a yard sale here, or just like a market or something? What's going on here? Welcome to Wayward Grill Extravaganza. Ah, meat is back on the menu, boys. Oh my god, that is so fitting considering we just played like Battle for Middle Earth the other day. Meat's back on the menu. God damn it. I mean, I probably couldn't have resisted putting that in this game either if I were the devs. Gotta appreciate a good Lord of the Rings reference there. God damn it. Meat is back on the menu. I do wonder if he does respawn. If he respawns, that would be a big yikes. Plastic chairs, let's get those. Need that for the next backpack upgrade. There we go, that's a shortcut.
In our darkest tower, I implore you to stay vigilant. We will emerge from this stronger than ever. This is an automated recording sent from K23, the Crown Station.
Oh, wait a minute. This is gonna give us ceramics, right? Yeah. Hey. Tink. I guess electronics from the TV. Plastic as well. Let's go out and dump some stuff. We're so low on hit points. Wait, what did I take extra? I thought I had more than that before I went in and fought those guys. Why am I so low now? Could be because of the temporary rested buff you get. Maybe that went out and then it's like, oh, you've got less hit points now. Maybe. Bloop. Never tried to do constellations at all because you have DDs for all times. Oh, Coco Goat and D-Luke. Trying to get that for them will dry your free-to-play funds for non-existing. Got lots of constellation for characters you're not using at all, like already 10 level friends, Bennett, Fischl, and like the others. Damage dealer, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's the same. I've got like a couple of... So my main team that I started out with, I strategically decided that I would do 4-star characters for my first main party composition. Because I knew that I wouldn't be able to get the constellation bonuses. So by deliberately making my first main team comp out of 4-star, it made it more viable to get constellation bonuses. And also play like as a low spender. I'm not entirely free to play. So my main is Razor. And then I'm using Chungyun. He's doing like buffs. And then there is Xiangling, which is a bit of a mix right now, because I am occasionally switching her out with Yoimiya because I managed to get her. But otherwise it's Xiangling. And then finally Barbara for healing. Took me, and actually one of the first characters I got to max level was Amber, which people just really didn't like her for some reason, but I fucking leveled her up to max as one of the first. And I don't even have a lot of constellations bonuses for her, so I don't know, I just really like using her. Of course, now that I have Yoimiya, there's no way I'm going back to using Amber ever again. But something. And I mean, Barbara we got for free when I started, basically. So you automatically got like basically 2 constellation bonuses for Barbara almost, just from starting the game back then. Because like when you started, there was a thing where you could get her as a bonus for starting out, and then later they added another event where you could get her like another extra Barbara as well. And they did the same for Xiangling. You also get her like a couple of times, which is why those 2 characters are max constellation for me. I think Xiangling is, I can't remember though, but I think she is. But yeah, Razor is the main damage dealer. The rest are just support and for doing like specific elemental damage types. Because in the start, you know, you didn't know what I was doing and stuff. And I started having issues taking out the Electro Fatui dudes. I was like, God damn, these guys are a pain in the ass. But then after trying out Chungyun and with his like cryo infusion skill, I decided to have him in my team permanently. Because in the beginning I was using Amber instead, basically, along with Xiangling and Barbara and Razor, of course, because she was a ranged character. And I didn't like Lisa, for instance, as an Electro Mage, or any of the other characters to use as like ranged DPS or anything. So Amber it was. And I was in that situation where it's like, well, I can get Chongyun to get the cryo infusion, but then I wouldn't have any ranged characters to deal ranged DPS. But then I would be able to take out the Electro Fatui dudes way easier. And I tried it, and I concluded that it was worth sacrificing the ranged flexibility over the ability to just being able to, like, you know, take out those Electro dudes, because they were just such a pain. Pack rat, maybe? Yeah. And it's still my main comp. The only difference again being that I switched Xiangling out for Yoimiya now. She's so much fun to use. Should we upgrade this? I mean, we're not really using the sickle yet. Oh, we can already upgrade the crowbar again. Oh, dang. Interesting. Your first character you got for level 90 was Aoife. Really? Okay. You used Noelle for like half of the year because you didn't have any stronger than her. Now your team has just gotten you, dealing 40k from double charge shots. It's enough to take 90% living or moving creatures existing in game solo. All others just randoms who you level up to 90 and getting 10 level friendship and changing for others to do the same. Yeah, see, the thing is, after like a few weeks of playing, I did actually pull a D-Luke as well. But the problem was that early on, because you progress so fast, you land in a situation where the world difficulty gets harder faster than you're able to upgrade your characters. Because every time you farm the materials for them, the game gives you the adventure XP that you need in order to level that levels up the difficulty as well. So it's like you're on a time clock basically of a limited amount of things. You don't want to spread your XP out and level up characters like you know, average it out or anything, because that really hits you hard. So I just focused down on those 4 characters, and then I decided, okay, once I'm done with this and it's stabilizing, then I can look at other characters. And D-Luke was also my main DPS and is still for my second Spiral Abyss comp, though I really do not enjoy Spiral Abyss. Spiral Abyss is like one of the things in the game that I hate the most, to the point where I've just completely stopped doing it, even though it does give you primogems. Because I just can't be bothered doing it. It's just way too stressful. Ooh, we can break these now. Nice. So yeah, even though I ended up getting like 5-star characters and stuff, I just couldn't use them because they needed so many materials to be leveled up that I would be gimping my progress if I did. Which was a little bit of a weird situation to be in, for sure, right? And ever since, it's just been like, I've gradually been upgrading people to level 90 that I find interesting, and then making team comps out of those. And then I do the commissions with those characters instead of the main party I have, because of course doing commissions gives you friendship XP, and all the characters that I might not ever consider even using, I'm leveling up their friendship through the Serenity Pot mechanic, basically. So right now my second commission party is I've got Eula as the main damage dealer, and I still have Barbara as a healer, and then right now, because Yoimiya is still being leveled up friendship wise, oh geez, she's also in the party. And then who's the last one? Oh yeah, it's Sucrose, because I got like max constellation Sucrose twice over, so I thought maybe it was about time to start using her. So why does it have like a 1 there? Oh, it's just painkillers, I see. 100% true. For first time you try to get level up like properly only from mobs quests. The same as everyone. Until you found hero experience, your first and only reaction you're having only now is, what the F, you can level up and one-shot literally any mob with just basic Aoife. After using a couple of those. What the hell is that RPG in game? max world level you get like 36 experience from every... Yeah, killing mobs is basically pointless for XP gain, right? There's no reason to do it. Exactly. It's like if you were to really do the math, you would realize that you would have to kill more mobs on a yearly basis than... Oh my god. You basically have to kill more mobs than I have totally done so far in order to just get one level, basically. And that's just for up to 4 characters. So, completely useless. There's literally no reason for the XP. And again, the XP... See, that's something I always disagreed with in the game. I never understood why they made it so that you needed your characters to be active to gain that XP when it's so little. If at least the XP was shared between all your characters that even weren't active, then it would at least do something. But I mean, you level up your main party before you start using them to the point where there's no need for XP anyway. So like, what? And once you have your main team running and it's functional and you've optimized it to a certain degree, it's even less useful because you're in no rush to level up your characters, right? Well, at least I'm not. And that's what really pissed me off the most about the questionnaires, the surveys that they put out, is because they keep asking you like, or I don't know if they still do that, because I basically stopped doing those surveys for the exact same reason, but they would, every survey, they would ask you, so we just put out a banner and this new character, do you have this character, and if so, what do you think about them? Like, try and come back in a month where I might have leveled them up to a point where I can even start considering using them. Because it's gonna take you like at least 2 months to farm the materials and the XP notes and artifacts, or maybe 1 month you can do it in if you're really focusing, just to make that one character viable, right? True, you can transfer items from one character to another, even artifacts, but most characters, they require specific sets of artifacts with like some specific substats that, due to RNG, you most likely don't just have that sitting around. Even if you do save as many of your legendary artifacts as possible, it's just doesn't work that way. And it's like every single survey they would immediately ask, so what do you like about this character and stuff. Like, don't really have a good opinion on it because I haven't really used them. Because I can't. And then once you've actually started using them, they don't care about it anymore. So it's like, okay, so all free-to-play and low-spending users, their opinions don't get heard because, like, you can't really make a good enough reply on that kind of question other than, okay, what do you think about their looks and such? So yeah, one of the previous events where they showed most stats like mobs killed, food earned, and all these. You and me both, by the way. We were both on the top 10% of killing the most hilly churls on the American server. Yeah. I was on that as well. I'm also on the US server, by the way, even though I live in Europe. But yeah, there's that, and there's another detail to that too. Even considering that mobs do give XP, there are so many instances in the game where for no reason they decide that you just don't get XP for these mobs. Too bad. Like, you don't get Mora either. The Mora is actually useful, right? But it's still a very small amount that it doesn't, it's like a, you know, 0.1% of your total Mora required to do anything in the game, but it's at least something you can use. XP is just voided when you're max level everything. On your main team anyway. But yeah, those mobs don't even give XP. No wonder even in America, like each 5 lad is Russian, you're scared to even look at your server. Well, that, and a lot of people also made like throwaway accounts, because they made an account and then they would do the first couple of wishes that you get handed to you for like no effort. And then if they didn't get what they wanted to start out with, they would make a new account to re-roll and basically play through the opening segment of the game over and over until they got a 5-star character through the first opening rolls that they would want to play with. Dude, I've played this game for an entire year now. That little tidbit has like 0% impact on your ability to play the game in the long run. The only difference it makes is that maybe you get like to start the game out with a 5-star character and play through the opening segment of the game, but it's in no way necessary to play it. But I mean, you know, you do you, but it does mean now that there's probably like 50% of all the accounts for the game are just defunct accounts that are not even in use, just sitting there with no progress other than maybe the opening of the game, which is a little bit sad. Heard re-rolling wishes with account is half legal. This will not ban for that, but that's just wasting time and nerves. Yeah, for most people. Also, like, how would they do that? Because it's like you're using a specific email address, so it's email address bound. So how would they figure that out anyway, unless they're tracking your IP, which sounds a little bit halfway legal as a countermeasure anyway. But yeah, I mean it's an interesting topic, right? But it's still like there are some questionable things in Genshin Impact where I wish it were different, but at the same time it's like, you know, it is free to play at its root. It is a gacha game. So you gotta curb your expectations accordingly too. Okay, so if we get some of those metal bars, we can get some more throwing knives. Can we take out these fire hydrants? Let's take out this aircon unit, I guess. Nope, we cannot. Okay. Well, I do know that radiators yield them, so a few more of these and we're good. Actually, can I take down the toilets now? Oh, I can. Because when we got here, the crowbar wasn't strong enough, but now it is. Cool. But yeah, I've got a few 5-star characters that do have 1 or 2 constellations. Namely Diluc and Child. I don't think I've got anyone else. But it's also only because Child's been on multiple banners that have been featured, right? So it's a bit more understandable. Just gonna take this and move on. What about the shelves in here? Can we break those yet? $35. These we can't though. Just scrap. Seen one song which can describe lads who playing Genshin for more than a couple of months called Lower Your Expectations a Lot. See, the thing is, I played through the entirety of the then main storyline content with just the characters that were handed to me. I didn't start spending any money on Genshin Impact before I'd basically completed what was then available, right? And the only reason I started spending money was because I could see this was one of those games that I would actually, for once, stick with for a while. And now, like a year later, I've been playing it basically every day, doing dailies and also like participating in all the events apart from a very select few ones in the beginning. I think it is actually just the first event they had is the only one that I missed out on. Because I was so focused, like I decided to focus in on progressing in the main game before I would do anything else, basically. Also doing dailies. And I have like so much fragile resin just sitting in my inventory that I don't know what to do with. Also scouted whole existing map for 100%, at least game says it's 100%. But no, there's still some chests which doesn't count. Yeah, it's like you have to collect a little bit less than everything. I've not been going for 100%, I've just been like exploring freely and it's just been happening automatically. But I do find it a very enjoyable experience. Oh, we can finally make this hoe. Should do that and then go back to the farm, maybe. So here are the trinkets. Okay. Now, something I haven't quite figured out is where the bloody freaking... Where are the first aid kits? It's like no UI for it. There's probably something in the tutorial zone that tells you how to use them. Let's see. Drop material switch. Oh, there's the 1 and 2 as well for those. Special item, main tool. Unless it is... Hold on a second. Could it be... Ah, this is where it is. Oh yeah, so you get either... That is why... This is a suicidal pill. Okay. But yeah, you get to choose either of having bandages or throwing knives. Living on the edge. At least until we get more accessories or special weapons. Then we get to choose. Giving nothing but wasted time. Imagine walking without purpose and all you're seeing just empty plains. Not a single chest, challenge, or puzzle. Have literally nothing to do and that's the whole world for you. So all you have to do literally only resin and dailies. Well, and farming materials, collecting stuff for getting your characters ranked up. That's like how I've been doing it anyway. And I mean, the events for me are more than frequent enough to the point where like I don't have any issues with finding stuff to do in the game. Because honestly, it's like almost a bit too much with the events sometimes. Where I like want to do them, but because of the way that the event system is structured and like it's drip fed out, is a little bit inconvenient at times. Which I do hope that they like stop doing at some point. And I'm referring to the thing where it's like, here's the event for this next cycle, and it's split up into 3 segments, and every 2 days we're gonna unlock the next segment. Like, what the fuck? So you're telling me that I can either play now and only do like 33% of it or so, or I can wait for 6 days and then do it all in one go. But then have like way too much to do maybe in one sitting. And you're also telling me that there are challenges along the whole thing where if you started from the beginning of the event, you'll be like screwed because you have to redo those challenges as they unlock. They're not like completable retroactively. Like they've done that as well. So there'd be like a challenge like, oh, do this thing in the event within a certain time frame. But then you already did that on a previous day. So now you're like having to do that same exact thing twice, meaning that the event ends up taking longer to complete as a result. It's not really something I agree with. To the point where eventually I just, for the most part, will just wait with doing the events until the very end of the event cycle, because I don't want to do things twice. There was that, and it introduces some interesting things too. There was another event where you had to do these was it, I think it was the Windbloom Festival in spring. In that event you had to do these minigame rooms, and part of the extra challenges was that you needed to do something specific in these in a particular minigame. And the minigames were randomly chosen from a list of like 5 or 7. And on top of that, those challenges were unlocked with like a several day interval in between each. Meaning that if you randomly completed those challenges in the randomly selected minigames on a few days prior, you'd have to be lucky that it would still like generate that event after that challenge unlocked. Meaning that for some people they had to like grind those missions just to complete those challenges, whereas the main point of that event was that you needed to just do those challenges a certain amount of times to get enough points. But I was actually sitting and having to do those challenges, I think 10 or 12 or even 15 times, like over and over again, just to get the points, because I'd done all the other challenges since I waited till the last day basically. Yeah, they were funny, but sometimes you got to do like 10 runs to find exact map to complete one challenge on it. Yeah, and I had the opposite experience. I'd done all the challenges, and I was getting annoyed that you only got 300 points or whatever at a time, and you needed like 4,000 or 5,000 to buy everything in the event store. And there was nothing you could do that would increase the amount of points you would get. It didn't matter how much better you performed or anything, you would always be capped at 300 points. So that you had to, as a minimum, do it like a total of, what was it, 15 plus times or something. Which kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I'd, waited until the end to do it because I was not like a fan of the other way, like either, like gradually unlocking it. So, because the only benefit you got from actually being good at the challenges once you'd completed all those extra challenges or whatever, was that you'd get a buff at the boss thingy at the end of the whole event. Not the event, but of the run, which is cool, but that's not really what I wanted. And I can only imagine someone who'd already done those challenges like 20, 30 times to get all the points, now having to do them another 10 plus times just to be lucky enough for the right type of challenge to spawn. Like that's... I would be so fucking mad. I would have been so mad. Because it's like completely out of your control. Especially because if you were on like a time, like you only can play so many times a day, or so many hours a day or whatever, you had to split it, like, not split it, but you had to like segment it out and like according to their plan, not your own, like according to their plan. Which is something like, just generally speaking, when it comes to video games, that's one of the main things when it comes to something that I think is always worth noting when rating a game just generally. Does the game respect the player's time? Like, does it respect your time? Does it allow you to do things within your time frame? Because if it doesn't, say like a game that has timers in it, where it's like, now you gotta wait for 2 hours before you can play again, or now you gotta like grind this unnecessary thing for like who knows how long just to get more progress, then it doesn't respect your player's time. If it isn't fun doing that, that is. Right. No benefits for being too good at all. Most event gives reward for average results, but if you're doing it 100% perfect, it's like 2 or 3 enchanted ore or 1 hero XP scroll. Yeah. And then there was the newest event where it's like, here's this optional extra difficulty, which is just exceedingly hard to do, which doesn't give you any progress towards the other things. It's just like an extra thing that gives you borderline no rewards for doing it. Okay, whatever. Whatever. I had started doing it, and then after I died in the it was that special domain with Shikitashu and all that stuff, and I like just started doing the last difficulty without even reading what it was about. I didn't know there was no rewards associated other than a challenge or something, so I just blindly went in, and I tried so hard and it was so fucking difficult and even failed in the end that like crap, you know. such a waste of time. I think I wasted like an hour or so, because the fight, like they basically just made all the enemies above your level, so they take less damage and they deal more damage to you, making them bullet sponges. And at some point Razor got one-shotted, and that was basically it. There's nothing I could do. Okay, so let's get this thing here. Let's put the shovel back in. Actually, what am I doing? Before we do that, let's plant at least something. Plant some bloody crops, shall we? Cool, and now we can go back and equip the other thing. Probably not gonna really matter because we'll just be harvesting, what's it called again? Plant fiber? But yeah, that's what the sickle is for. Gotta love that AoE. Less damage, but larger area of effect. It's not terrible. level up. Just had a breakthrough. That means we can unlock some new things, I guess. But yeah, I mean, my Aoife only just recently got to... Is he level 90? I think he is. Ooh, look at all this fiber. Because that basically, like, I stopped using him after he got to level 50 or 60, I believe. Because then I discovered Racer and I was like, oh my god, fucking great swords, give me, give me, give me. I am contemplating on doing another team comp though, using Eula as my main. The only reason why I'm still not doing that is because of elemental synergies. Because Eula is cryo, Razor is electro, and because I'm using Chongyun, I just can't feasibly put Eula in there, because then I'll have two cryo characters and I need someone to do like a fourth elemental thing, which means if I put Eula in there, I need to take Chongyun out, then I need to replace him with something that makes sense. And I don't know who that should be. The reason why that's a bit of an issue right now is that Chongyun actually is just a support character for the cryo infusion for one, which Eula doesn't really do cryo damage that well either, so I don't know how well it will work against the electro enemies, but you know, it might work out just fine. But I'm also using the artifacts set, the Noblesse Oblige or whatever the hell it's called. Basically, whenever Chongyun uses his elemental burst, he gives everyone in the party increased, like, is it 40% attack or something like that. And because he's using a sacrificial greatsword at rank 5, he also gets to use his elemental skill all the time, basically. By the time it runs out, the infusion, I can just switch to him and activate it again, because there's a good chance that it immediately reset the cooldown when I used it the first time. And because he's running a lot of energy regeneration, he gets his elemental burst very quickly too. So that way I can basically very often get a bit of extra cryo damage. I can get cryo infusion for Razor, for enemies where it might be relevant. But I also get that 40% attack, which, you know, works both on the physical damage but also the cryo bonus. Or change, I guess. Just in case you were curious. I have streamed Genshin Impact a couple times, but my computer doesn't really like it when I'm streaming it. Last time I tried, it was a little bit of an uphill battle because the game runs a bit worse than normally, to the point where it's very frequently registers my regular attacks as a held button press, because I do play with a controller. And as a result, you'll be in mid-combat, and instead of doing like normal attacks, all of a sudden your character starts spinning up their attack. And because I'm using greatsword uses, that attack is really, really slow. And because it happens whenever I don't want it to happen, it's like you can't cancel out of it either. It's not a great experience, basically. Which is why I haven't streamed it much. This looks sus as hell. And what is that thing in the middle? I don't know, but let's do this. Oof. Spike ball. Okay. That's why I want the sickle. Can get the rubber out of tires and such with that. Can't use the crowbar for that. At least not at the current point in time. Can I use it on these here? Nope. 45 damage. Toxic, keep out. How do you even get up there? I think I asked myself the same question last time I played. It's like time and space are bent around this spot. What do you mean? Is there like something we gotta dig for? Found something. Oh man. It's like a slow motion here. But why? Like, what do I do with this? This is a question mark on the map. Okay. Maybe that's something later. I don't remember that being in the version I originally played. Oh, god damn it. Get over here, Bambi, or Bambi's dad. Damn it. Get these. Maybe there's like a climbing tool or something you can unlock at some point. Okay, we're back at that gas station. Definitely need to make some more meals as well. That's why I wanted to get that farm going. Oh shit, that's ranged, dude. What? What time is it? Oh shit, it's already that late. Well, I did also start streaming a little bit later than I had hoped for. I'm having a lot of fun playing this game though. It's not too attention demanding, so you can make some commentary while doing so. Not getting completely wrecked all the time. But I guess I do also need some food at some point. Like real life food. We'll keep going a little bit longer though.
You should have already received your amber pill container. Do not be afraid to use it. It will provide you permanent rest. This is an automated recording sent from K23, the Crown Station.
There's no campfire around here, so... Tear this place apart. Oh, I didn't even realize we can break all this shit apart now. All these cupboards and stuff. It's just floating in the air. Yeah, we've got a lot of different kinds of stuff now. And we're slowly but surely also maxing out on how many different things we can even carry. So we need a bit more plastic and fabric, then we can make that backpack upgrade. Oh, we could actually upgrade our sickle as well. Oh, so that upgrades the extra obstacle melee target. So this, now we can attack 3 things at a time with this. Okay. Not too shabby. Go back, store all our stuff, and return and pick up all the other things. Oh, maybe you can use that time warp thing to catch up to the deer or something in early game. Maybe that's what it's for? Ah, surely there's more to it than that. We did grow some corn cob stuff, so let's actually just make this, right? Maximum gas. Hurry. Are you going to eat, Toto? Yes, I did just totally just mindlessly read the name of that emote because I can't see what it is. But I guess I understand now that it is indeed food. Get over here. Wait. I also seem to recall there's more than one farm in the game, but I could be wrong on that. So what about these benches? Ooh. Get that iron here too. Yeah, I think it was like 20 plant fiber per crop plot, so considering we only get 2 out of these bushes, it's not really the most efficient way of getting it. Getting it off of the buildings is definitely much more convenient. Oh shit. Yep, doesn't quite do the same amount of damage as your good old crowbar. So here the main challenge is this freaking annoying enemy. Because if you get hit by that one like twice or something, you're borderline dead. If not dead. But it's that classic thing where it's like whenever you go back to the campfire, it resets the whole area in terms of enemies. So the better you do at dodging attacks, not getting any hits in on yourself, the better. Because it means you can go further and collect more stuff before you basically have to go back to replenish. But then of course it resets everything. Let's go to the lavish villa, because there is a campfire there. Let's grab some fibers around. Hello. Still can't break those. Oh, there's just a bunch of scrap lying here. Don't mind if I do.
Special message for the dear inhabitants of Capernaum. Your mighty walls will keep the monsters at bay. Sleep tightly. You are safe and loved. This is an automated recording sent from K23, the Crown Station.
Why does that look so suspicious? There's another one right here. Do a little bit of post-apocalyptic gardening here, I guess. Something else about this game is that it does look very nice in my opinion. Hey Dangerous, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. It's a long time I've seen you in here. How are you doing? This looks interesting, you say. What makes you say that?
Raiding party!
Alright, hey Argron. How you doing? What were you doing today? You're coming at an impeccable timing. Battlefield 2042. Oh, I see. You're tired. Well, you're actually coming at a little bit of an unfortunate timing because we don't got a lot of left of this stream because I also need to go and get some food soon. But how are you guys? How is Battlefield? Because I've been curious about that one, because they one of the big selling points they've been trying to market is that custom game mode that's all between like the different tech stages or whatever. So it's like you can do that amalgamation between like First World War but also super sci-fi. I'm very curious as to how that works too. But yeah, how's it going? Started late today. That Battlefield is broken. Prefer Portal over the new stuff. Okay. Broken even. It's more stable than the main... Oh, right, that's what you mean, Portal. Yeah, that's what it's called, right? The Portal. Because it's like cross dimensions or whatever. And then you say that's more stable than the main game. That's interesting. Because isn't 2042, that's like because it's futuristic. So what I've been also curious, is it like a good spiritual successor to 2142? Because you probably wouldn't know if you say it's like unstable, I guess. But at least is the other game mode enjoyable then? The Portal, that is. We're just in here playing an indie title called Dysmantle, which just got released into 1.0 today, actually. It's how you gain guns and level up in Portal so you don't have to deal with lag and instant death on maps that should have 32 players but have 128. Holy shit. That's a lot, though. That's a lot of players. Let me just check something. See, yeah, so Dysmantle, by the way, is 30% off until the 23rd of November. Yes, it is. There you go. It's been in early access for a very long time, I seem to recall. And I hadn't played it until today, since the very first version was basically released. So happy you can progress in other modes and use the unlocks when the normal game is more stable. Yeah, because if it were... There's always something about Battlefield that also caught my attention when Battlefield 2 was new back in the days. The unlocks, right? That sense of progression. You're not just playing it for the competitive element. You're kind of just also playing like a sort of progression based game, right? So yeah, this is like I wouldn't say it's a survival game. Toto was in here earlier mentioning that it's a bit similar to How to Survive rather than say like 7 Days to Die, but top down. It's a bit more arcadey than that, because it's not really about base building. It's more about exploration, and there's a main quest line that you sort of follow in terms of objectives, and then you gather resources in order to make upgrades and that kind of stuff. Yeah, let's go north. So as you progress, you gradually unlock and discover new ways to make better tools that allow you to dismantle, coincidentally, more and more complex stuff, which in return also allows you to dismantle even more complex things. As an example,